Was looking at different coffee videos yesterday, and I came across this recipe that I really wanted to try. It's called a Shakerato. Look, again, I'm terrible with pronunciations, but basically what it is a shaken espresso. So you make what basically is a double shot of espresso, a little bit of sugar, shake it with ice, and enjoy in a nice glass. So this is my first time making it. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we get a really good espresso pour. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go get the kettle on, and I'm going to prep a double shot in the ROK. So I think this could actually turn out really well. I mean, it sounds good. I don't see why this thing would be bad. So let's get some coffee, and we're going to be using the Lavazza Super Crema. And one of the things I want to do today is make sure that we measure. So I have a lot more dialing in to do of my espresso shot, especially since I got a new coffee blend. We were making grand espressos before, and now we're using the Super Crema, still from Lavazza, but every time that you kind of switch beans, you have to dial things back in again. I think I've got a pretty good consistency here. Kind of pillowy, not too fine. We're gonna give this a try. So the first thing is, let's tear this out. Okay. And let's make sure that we are also on grams as well. What I need is a holder for this thing, and I will be getting some more items so that whenever we can do this. But let's measure 16 grams of coffee into here. It's easier said than done. This is a bit messy. Okay, so let's see how many grams we're at now. It should be like 10. Oh, 10. It's not bad. So we need a little more. But we're really aiming for the 16 grams here. There's 16 on the dot. And it went down to 13. So we need a few more. Let's see how this is. That is good. Okay, so now that we've got 16 grams, we're gonna even this out. And you're just gonna use kind of your hand to push this into the corners, and then put it down. And you're gonna press until you're not getting any kind of springiness back to it. Yeah. Now, we're gonna go ahead and put this in. Let me get this centered to here. Now, what we're looking for, if you're doing 18 in, if you're doing a 2-to-1 ratio, you're gonna try to get 32 out. So I can't really fit this in. This is a little too wide, but we're gonna measure it into this cup, and we're gonna go for, I don't like doing this traditionally, but we're gonna do volume over grams, and not the right way to do it. But we're gonna try to also go with a slightly cooler water temperature, because this is a medium roast. It's not a light roast. And so the darker the roast you get, the coarser the grind and a little bit cooler of the water due to the extraction. So the darker the roast, it gets a little easier to extract at that point. So let's get into it. Oh, you know what? I don't have any music going. I think that's part of my problem is I want music. I have to get back to that. Okay. So now, typically, I would pour at this point, but we're going to wait a bit. We're going to wait for this to kind of calm down and not be so hot. Okay, I think that's good. It's just a little less than boiling. Okay, and then we're going to also do the same pre-infusion as before. And wait about 15 seconds. While that's pre-infusing, make sure that we have our cups ready. And in the shaker, we're going to put about a tablespoon of sugar. They weren't real clear. The problem again with coffee recipes is every single one is different, but I think a tablespoon would be about good. Okay, now we've waited. Let's go ahead and press and let's see how we did with our grind and our pack. And our tamp, I should say. I think that looks pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and do the full quarter cup. All right. So now that we have our espresso shot, let's go ahead and, I do not like letting the water sit in the puck for too long, especially on the ROK. Try to get it out. There we go. That's better. Okay. Check out the puck. Yep, that looks good. There's a little bit of crack in it, but there's no channeling. It looks nice and neat, so we're good with that. And it broke free. Nice and easy. Okay, so now that we've got our pour, let's also, I want to see how this tastes, make sure this is good. So it's a little harsh. I didn't get a lot of the sweetness out of the thing, so we do need to make another adjustment on this. And it might actually be too finely ground as well. It might need to be a little coarser. Okay, so let's get some ice. And what they say is just, you're going to fill this up with ice. And I really, I've made enough drinks to kind of realize you don't need the thing full all the way to the top. You want air pockets so that you're getting aeration as well as ice crystals forming. That's really what you're looking for here. So we're going to go and pour this in. And we're going to shake like nobody's business, right? So they say about 45 seconds. So let's get into it. I also want to be very clear that there's no alcohol in this. So this is nothing but coffee. Oh, wow. Let's let that sit. So it is super creamy and it is like coating. Here, you can actually see it in there. Look at this. So it is super creamy and it is coating all of this. So let's go ahead and pour it. I think we're good. Oh yeah. And it made a lot of really nice foam too. We'll set this over here. So take a look at that. You can see like that's got a good bit of foam on it. Whoa. Yeah, there's still more in there. I want all this goodness. All right, let's give this a try. Oh my. Yeah, that's really, really good. Okay, well that was a hit. I agree though that it needs a little something added to it. But that is super rich, super creamy. A little bit of sweet, but you could see this being like the basis for other drinks as well. So I like adding different flavors to it and mixing it that way. I think that would be really, really good. I'll get a little bit of that because of the sugar and the ice. It doesn't have to be the best espresso shot, and it still tastes good. That is actually really good.